The Baltimore Children and Youth Fund is facing continued pressure from city leaders who worry the nonprofit is misusing millions of taxpayer dollars. Councilman Mark Conway and former Mayor Jack Young are calling for more transparency from BCYF. Spotlight on Maryland's Patrick Huff has the story.
I'm an unhappy camper about how the youth fund is being run and how the funds are being disseminated, because a lot of organizations that are doing the great work has not been given the funding.
Former Mayor Jack Young led efforts to launch BCYF nearly a decade ago as City Council president. Now he's worried the organization has lost focus of its intended purpose. Young and Councilman Conway expressed concern about the newly passed Baltimore City budget, which sends more than $16 million to BCYF, about $7 million of which is then sent to Mayor Brandon Scott's Office of Employment Development, or MOAD. Meanwhile, BCYF's budget for grant making to local charities was cut by about $6 million.
There's no good reason for the city to take in tax dollars, give it to an organization, for that organization to give that money right back. It's paper shuffling. It's not.
So do you think that this $7 million they're moving into MOAD for these other programs, do you think that's going to lead to less money for grassroots organizations?
I would hope not, but I think so.
A portion of the BCYF money given to MOAD will be used to help support the Youth Works program that provides jobs for teens and adolescents in the city. A point emphasized by Mayor Scott when asked about Conway and Young's event just hours before it began.
That is where the money should be spent, on making sure that our young people are getting what they need, and their jobs are important. Anybody that's trying to manipulate that for political reasons needs to look themselves in the mirror.
Young did not take kindly to the swipe from his former campaign opponent.
But this had nothing to do with politics.
The event was scheduled to take place at Leithwalk Elementary and Middle School to highlight a lack of BCYF funding for its programming. But Young said he was told by Baltimore City Public Schools to leave property right before it started over worries it would politicize kids.
We couldn't come out here and talk about the program because we couldn't see it. But we do know they didn't get any funding. Yeah. If you want to call that political, then yes.
Sherry Christian, a spokeswoman for city schools, told Spotlight on Maryland board policy restricts elected officials from hosting political activities at city school facilities, and we asked that the event be moved from school property. Spotlight on Maryland previously reported on how BCYF spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on trips for its employees and community leaders to Alabama, Missouri, and New Orleans, with specific expenses such as $3,600 for 3 yoga sessions and 1 short breathing exercise. BCYF spends about 40% of its budget each year on administrative costs. We're hoping to learn more soon about how much BCYF grantees spend on overhead. Young said he wants BCYF to be more careful about how they spend money intended to help kids.
How are they, reaching the community-based organization with the training that they need instead of going on trips to spas and all these other different things. That money could have been given to some of our football programs.
BCYF is almost entirely funded by taxpayer dollars, but operates as a nonprofit, meaning it's not required to undergo regular performance audits like city agencies. We asked each member of the Baltimore City Council the following questions. Do you support full transparency of how taxpayer dollars are spent by BCYF and its grantees? Do you support required performance audits of BCYF? How many BCYF grantees are in your district? Will they lose funding due to BCYF's $7 million partnership with Mayor Scott? Conway was the only one to respond and said he hopes to rally his colleagues in favor of more transparency.
I do think audits would be a great way to make sure that they are following their own rules.
And I've called numerous council members, and they can't say I haven't, to ask them to do an amendment to the charter amendment to say that they have to have yearly audits by the comptroller's office. And no one wanted to do that. I even asked the mayor, and unfortunately, he didn't respond.
BCYF did not respond to our request for comment. We'll continue to monitor how nonprofits spend your taxpayer money. For Spotlight on Maryland, I'm Patrick Huff.